Hello YouTube, LJ Draco here. Um, yeah. I just want to start this video off by saying, wow. I uploaded my Jungle Book unboxing 3D Blu-ray on Monday, and it's already reached nearly 300 views. It's the fastest one of my videos has ever been viewed, so thank you so much for your support. I'm really happy and thankful. I'm just really in shock. Only I've only ever seen one of my videos get that far in like maybe a year or two. So to see it get that far in a couple of days, just like thank you very much. Basically, this video is going to be about something that I know I said I was going to do sooner this weekend, but I didn't really get a chance to do it this weekend as a lot of stuff happened. But here it is now, and it is the Jungle Book 3D Blu-ray review. So, I'm just showing this now as to make sure you know that I've still got it. This is the shelf or wealth decision at the end of this review. But as you know, I don't like holding the films for too long because also the glare from the light of the camera. So as you know, picture's going to be here anyway. So let's get started off. Basically, this isn't a spoiler review for people that haven't seen it. I don't want to give away too much because obviously there are still people, it's still fairly new to Blu-ray, it's only been out for a week, and people may not have seen it in cinemas, so I don't want to give away too much. I'm just going to go over the cast and what I thought of this telling of the live-action Jungle Book movie. Basically, let's just start off with the cast. I think that's the best way to start this off. Oh, it's in my eye. Fair enough. Anyway, start with the cast. Now, I know that obviously the live-action Mowgli is something a lot of people was concerned about, because a lot of people didn't know that, because Mowgli was so cartoonish, the flailing of the arm movements and the legs and stuff is only something pretty much that Captain Jack Sparrow can do. Uh, so everyone was like, oh, you know, it's computer animated, so it's possible to fling your arms. But no, the actor, Neil Sethi, I think he's fairly new to acting. I didn't get to research him much. But wow, he does make a very good impression of the animated Mowgli from the original Jungle Book. Original. Sorry, that thing in my eye is bugging me. Yeah, from the original Jungle Book, he did give an amazing version of that. He is down to a T exactly that same Mowgli, from the movements to the attitude to the courage to the fear. It's wow. I mean, I'm giving this kid about a 98.9% performance. Yeah, I know it sounds bad, like I'm not giving him a full 100%, but not every actor, even my heroes, deserve 100%, because I'm pretty sure it's very rare to find a 100% performance. But, I mean, still, wow, this kid's 98.5. I might even just go 99% great performance as Mowgli. Then we have a great British actor playing the kind of like the fatherly role to him, and we all know Sir Ben Kingsley as Bagheera. I mean, wow. And I mean, it's only a voice acting job for this, but obviously they got the live action panther looking great. I mean, the fur, the eyes, even the nerves in the eyes for the panther is really well done for the CGI of it. But Ben Kingsley's voice is perfect for everything, for normal acting, for voice acting, even for adverts, because he's just got that voice where he's just like stubborn but in a good way. I mean, for anyone who's actually seen Hugo, my god. Sorry, that's a whole different review. But anyway, yeah, Ben Kingsley as Bagheera, and I mean, you kind of when they're talking in the film, when they've got their scenes together, you can tell like that they're not actors have this thing. When I was training to be an actor myself growing up, the thing that we learned the most was, which obvious things that actors have to do, which is you've got to learn not to be yourself on stage. You've got to be the person you're supposed to be there and then. And you can tell by the voice in Kingsley that he's not no actor. He's not this British guy that's just coming to do a voice. He's angry with this kid, but he's angry as a father. And you could tell that connection was perfect. I mean, yeah, again, I'd have to give Sir Ben Kingsley another 90. I'd give him a 99% performance, because he's not in the film as much as you'd hope him to be, but when he is, he's just the perfect guy for the job. So, them two and their chemistry is brilliant, and that's a great thing for this movie. It's a great thing for this movie. Then we've got, I think he's like the most beloved character in Jungle Book from the original. It's been a long time since I've seen the original Jungle Book, but I think the most beloved character was Baloo, and my God, one of the best comedic actors of all time, Bill Murray. Wow. And if you can see by the pictures, because pictures are going to be for every single character, and as their actor and as their person they're playing or voicing. And as you can see, the job of Baloo is it doesn't look like the Baloo from the cartoon, because obviously Baloo from the cartoon is a weird looking bear, but they've made this bear look incredible. I mean, down to the fur. I mean, is it me, or does he look like a better CGI bear than the one from the Reverend? And I like the Reverend, but this CGI Baloo looks so much more realistic. I was more terrified of his outer exterior than I was by the one from the Reverend. So that's good. That made me fear Baloo. But then when he starts talking, you're kind of like, no, you're funny. Please don't ever get angry with me. He was. Bill Murray was great. I was worried. Okay, this might be a spoiler. So I'm gonna spoil up here. I was worried they weren't gonna have the song in the movie, and they did. It wasn't as as exposed as the one as the anime. It wasn't like full on. But it was still in there, and that was great. I'm glad they kept that in. So far we've got a great team of actors so far. I mean, Neil Sethi as Mowgli, we've got Ben Kingsley as Bagheera, and we've got Bill Murray as Baloo. So, already starting off great. Then we also get a surprise voice as the great King Louis from Christopher Walken, who, as we all know, has got one of the most weirdest but kind of antagonizing voice. I mean, even when he's trying to be funny, he sounds like he's always challenging you to something. Now, I can do voice impressions, but he is one of the hardest to do. There's only a couple of people I know that can do him. But his voice is just like always so challenging. It's like he's always ending his sentences in questions. You notice that in any film? And it's like so him as King Louis, that's a great voice. That's a really, really great voice. Basically, I wanted to get the main kind of cast out of the way, so I've got like one more, not really main cast, but one more kind of person to talk about. Then we're gonna go to two people that should have been underneath Mowgli, at the top, but I want to talk about the main cast that people had more of a connection with first, because that's what I obviously should do. So basically, the person who's is Scarlett Johansson as Car. Obviously, everyone knows that Car weren't really in it for a long period of time, but yeah, she had a great voice for it. Even though everyone goes like, oh, Scarlett Johansson always sounds the same. Yes, true, but could you imagine if they had casted Kirsten Stewart? Yeah, no, Scarlett Johansson had a great sadistic voice for the snake. That was good, right? So Car, they got a good person to play that character. That yeah, I'm accepting that as a great casting choice. Then okay, these are two people that I don't really know much of, and that's why I didn't want to talk about them much, but they are important to the story. It's technically the actual mother and father, really, to Mowgli at the beginning, and that's Lupita Nyong'o as Raksha. She's the like headstress or mistress of the wolf pack, and like she's like the main one that's like Mowgli's mother. She like babies him, and she's the only one that really fights against the other animals to kind of say, well, he's mine. Yeah, he's my cub. He's part of my family. So I mean, you do kind of get a connection with her, but because you don't really focus on her part of the film and story, you don't really get that much. But she was a great actress. I mean, she did do a great voice, and if wolves could talk, I could imagine her voice being a wolf's voice, because it sounded that happy but also gritty kind of like wildness voice, and that was amazing. She pulled that off pretty well. And the next guy, I really can't pronounce his name, so I'm really sorry. I'm just gonna call him I'm just gonna call him Carlo Esposito. Okay, I can't say the rest of his name. I don't know how to pronounce that name, but he played Akira, who was the head of the wolf pack. And I'm not going to say much about it, but if you see the film and if you've watched the film and you know about Akira's story and everything like that, I mean, just like, wow. But all these actors and actresses, even the two that I'm not too familiar with, all gave 99% performances. They were all brilliant. Not one of them messed up a part of the film. They all done their job, dead on accuracy. So that's why I'm giving them all 99% performances. But now it's time to talk about the main badass of the Jungle Book movie, and that is Idris Elba as Shere Khan. And if you look at this picture, like, wow. I love Idris Elba, and I mean, my favourite film that he's been in so far was Pacific Rim, because he was the badass British guy, and you don't really see much of those. You just see either the evil British guy or the so to see a badass kind of in charge British guy was something rare for me to see, and I'm happy about that. But Idris Elba is one of my favourite British actors, and his voice made that tiger look more sadistic than he should have been. Tigers are already shit scary as they are. If you look face to face to a tiger, you're gonna crap yourself unless you know you can take that tiger down, or unless you know you've got a weapon that works. But imagine a tiger running at you with Idris Elba's voice, shouting at you, demeaning you, like, whoa. That is something that made his part of this movie the best part of the movie, because you could tell in his voice the anger and hatred he had towards everyone in this, even if he had no reason to. You could just, he made it like the tiger was playing him, and that was awesome. I mean, it was brilliant. So yeah, as I said, these are 99% performances, and I clap my hands to all these actors. And I mean, the director Jon Favreau, who's done the Iron Man series of movies, and I mean, he was also in an episode of Friends. I don't know much else he's done, because I always knew him as Pete from Friends or Tony Stark's bodyguard. So yeah, knowing him as that was always what, but he done a reasonably great job on this movie. I mean, I'm like I said, every film has its faults, and the only fault that this film had with me was that the story was slightly changed from the animated original. I mean, that's gonna happen, because if you make it exactly the same, then there was no point in doing the movie. And I'm sorry, but that was kind of my fault with Maleficent and with Cinderella, because in the end, I'm not saying that the live action movies are bad per se, but Maleficent didn't need to be told, or if it did, it should have been done in a different way. Nor should have Cinderella, because I'm sorry, but Cinderella the original was already a classic movie. It was one of the best princesses in distress stories. It was one of the best kind of like, this is what's happening in real life. The way the ugly stepsisters and the evil stepmom was like treating her. You know, we already got the best story possible with that. And they'd already done live action different versions. You had a Cinderella story, a different Cinderella story, Ever After with Drew Barrymore. There was already been so many different live action versions of Cinderella, and not one of them to this day has compared to the original Disney Cinderella. I'm gonna be honest, out of the live action movies I've seen so far, between Maleficent, Jungle Book, Cinderella, Jungle Book is definitely the better out of those, because Jungle Book makes you kind of appreciate what they did, and you see lots of the original story and system in this movie. So to see that they haven't exactly just re-scrapped it and changed the idea completely makes this movie better for me. Whereas with Maleficent, it was basically Sleeping Beauty from a different point of view, but with a completely different story. No, didn't agree with that. Cinderella was, and it wasn't practically identical to the animated original. And anyone who says it was, or if it was like no, it wasn't. It was nowhere close to even being anywhere as as amazing as the original, and nothing reminded me of the original in that. They had similar casting, like they had obviously the same animals and the same kind of fairy godmother story, but not one bit reminded me of that. It made me look like it was a totally different movie, like the other ones was. This made me kind of go, oh yeah, this part is like that. Oh, this was in the other one. Oh yeah, this is so much. So I appreciate the fact that Jon Favreau did not just go, let's make an entirely different movie, but about the exact same people. It was they kept to a lot of the original story, just added in a few minor differences for what live action Disney viewers would like to see. Because if you've seen stuff like Pirates of the Caribbean, John Carter, Sorcerer's Apprentice, you see stuff like that and you expect a live action movie, whether it's a Disney classic live action or a live action Disney, you expect something to be similar but in a different kind of way. So I'm gonna yeah, I mean I'm gonna rate this movie a B plus. I'm gonna give it a B plus. I'm not gonna give it an A because there could have been a lot better. I mean, I'll tell you why I'm giving it a B plus after. It could have been better the film itself. Now, to get to the whole point of this is because I bought the 3D Blu-ray of this because certain films I want to see in 3D, certain films I don't, and the ones that sometimes I want to see aren't released in 3D, and sometimes they are. This was a hit and miss for me because I didn't know whether I was going to enjoy it, and basically I bought the 3D release because my fiance gave me the money and said, look, I want to watch it. If I pay for it, will you watch it? And I was like, yeah, okay, sure, no problem. I was going to buy it, but I wasn't too sure. I was undecided. We bought it, we watched it. Now, the 3D, unfortunately, wasn't great. And that made me sad because they'd done everything right. The opening Disney castle sequence, which if you see the film, or if you watch the Blu-ray 3D Blu-ray, that they done a great job with that. It wasn't just a standard castle, which I love. If there was a picture of that, I will show it here. If there isn't, I'm really sorry. There's just going to be a sad face there. But it was full screen, so each corner from diagonal up vertical was covered in image, which was brilliant. But the 3D wasn't there. It's like they gave us what we would love to see and then took it away. So that is why it's only getting a B plus. It's getting the B plus for the film itself. It doesn't get an... If it had great 3D, it probably would have reached an A. But because the 3D wasn't that great, it's going to have to unfortunately stay at a B plus. Now, this was a shelf or wealth decision, and unfortunately, my missus does want to watch it again. I do want to watch it again, but I'm only going to watch the 2D one from now on because I'm not going to put the glasses on to watch a film that I'm not getting any experience out of. So, and she did pay for it. So, out of respect for her doing that, and out of respect for us still enjoying the movie, I am going to keep it on the shelf. So it does stay. Yeah, I'm not going to sell it. And if for some reason I ever do sell it, I will let everyone know. Because as if you didn't know anyway, just to add on a bit, is my 3D collection went down a lot. I used to have every 3D Blu-ray release for the UK. But like I said in a video a couple of months back, I think, I went through this really difficult time where life was getting too struggling, and I got lost in who I was. So a lot of my stuff unfortunately had to be sold because I was not myself, and I used to have 4 to 5 shelves of just DVDs. I had one entire shelf for just horrors. At the moment, I currently have one shelf, and there's only like 10 horrors on it. So I did unfortunately get rid of a lot, but now that things have started picking up a bit and I've started feeling a bit better, things might start growing again. I'm definitely going to get some more for Disney 3Ds. It won't be all of them again because half of the Disney 3Ds got released in UK did not have good 3D, and they were absolutely point wasting times of my life. Which is why if you just watch this video, and I'm going to tell you now, there's going to be another video coming up right after this based on the top 5 Disney films that should have 3D releases and the top 5 that should never have had a 3D release. That one I'm looking forward to because I've got a lot to say. But there's also going to be a little surprise at the end of that video where I ask you, my viewers, a question. and I do want comments below. I've asked before for comments, and so far I'm only getting a couple of comments. I've got one constant commenter, viewer, and subscriber who I'm not going to mention your name because they'll probably see it and you probably don't want me to actually mention your name, but you know who you are. I am so grateful for your support, and it's because of your support I'm going to be doing more videos, especially about my hobby of 3D films. Thank you so much. So I'm going to ask you guys that question at the end of that video. But this was my Jungle Book 3D Blu-ray review. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe because I've got a ton of other videos coming out soon. And don't forget to strike that like, and I will see you next time. Thank you, YouTube.